Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning. Whose idea was this? Wait, that was my idea. But that's why I'm in bed. Me? I'm FayWhat, and I'm gonna help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's gonna be a great week.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word is that girl, the girl of all our dreams. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton is that girl, Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we're live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm also on demand, baby. It's Monday, December 4th, 2023, and it's 9 in the freaking morning, so I'm drinking a lot of coffee, okay? My coffee's black. That's it. I don't need anything else in it. You don't need nothing else in coffee. It just needs to be black. That's it. Hold on. You know what a colada is? A colada is a bunch of espresso that Cubans try to give you so you could be hopped up on caffeine for days on end. That's what my wife just gave me, and I get to partake with you. Ha ha ha. So let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community, all right? I have a sidekick joining me in bed for some conversation. What did you think I was talking about? Our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late. And this morning, I'm joined by my gay guy pal, Lumination. He's a pansexual member of the kink and fetish community, the founding president of Onyx Deep South, and also represented our community at International Mr. Leather as Mr. Ramrod. Good morning, Elimination, and welcome to FayWhat's Bed.
FayWhat? So this is like a dream that I had, like, you know, with you and I in the bed. The only thing that's missing is like a good demo bottom. But hold on, we gotta do a cheers for the coffee.
Oh my God,
because I have cream in mine.
You do have cream.
I like a little melanation.
Yeah, you like a little Olay.
Oh yes.
Ah, that coffee. Dennis, I was gonna say thank you so much, Michael Dean, for our coffee cups there. Oh my God, that coffee was incredible. Side Piece knows how to make some freaking coffee. Like, I don't know where he got that from.
But Side Piece knew that I needed it. Besides the fire that I'm about to receive, that I need the extra caffeine to handle. FayWhat?
Elimination. I have been trying to get you in bed.
For forever.
Anyway, for forever.
Forever.
For forever, right? So we met, God, I want to say it's close to 2 years ago, right? In the studio. We met at Queer News Tonight. Nope, we met at It's Happening. Nope, we met at Queer News Tonight. And then we also met on It's Happening Out, which is our other TV show. And then they decided to lock the cast down, right? So they had auditions, and they just, they casted 9 of the most perfect people to put on the show, and Elimination and myself were 2 on it. And we were able to work together more then.
Yes.
And all of a sudden we became closer. Like, we were able to have we would have whole fucking eye conversations, like, during the show. Whole conversations. Like,
right eye means something, left eye, this starts twitching, change it up, you know, give you a glimpse of the look. Like, we gotta but you know, I've been blessed because of that year. You're absolutely right. Just by getting to know you more, taking the opportunity to spend time outside of this, you have to take those moments to enjoy quality folks.
Yes.
Authentic folks. And I've been blessed because had it not been for that opportunity that Queer News provided us, and It's Happening Out provided us, I think my life would be totally different. Like, you've exposed me to some stuff. We called each out on some other stuff, and then you also said, "Bitch, take this and shut up." Yeah. And I appreciate that, you know. And so I'm thankful for that. Yes, we've been talking about this, and you got me in the bed with my boots on.
Yes, I do. Those boots are everything, Papi. Like, have you had sex with just those boots on?
So I have had sex with just those boots on. Just
I'm imagining it right now.
Inside of a place where I probably shouldn't have been, where, you know, you have to take everything off except for your boots. You know, you might have to do those things, but it's always good because they're great places to hide your money, hide your wallet, and keep things moving.
I love that. That's very smart.
But I also don't want you to, you can't do anything on them because then that messes up the flavor of the boot though.
Oh, you can't get any bodily stuff on them because then they'll get, that sucks. But can't you spray them with something so that shit just slides right off it?
See, I have a thing where I don't want you to, and this is So this is horrible to say. So I'm about to show.
But it's okay. You could be horrible on my show. I love that.
A femme presenting person or a woman can do everything all over my body. Half a woman, but a gentleman, no.
No, not on your.
No, there's something about the aroma.
Okay.
That comes from a masculine presenting person is very different than a femme.
Ah, how interesting.
So that's why I think I love you, because I just want your odor all over me and wear it like for days.
Oh my God. And I've got to say thank you for teaching me about what pansexual, like I've heard other people, because for a second, everybody was pansexual, right? Everybody wanted to be pansexual all of a sudden. Right. And so it kind of like, not lost its importance, but it fell kind of like to the bisexual wayside. And I was just like, okay, well, whatever. And then I meet you, and then you really showed me what it means, Plus, like your leather family, like you knew that I was interested in that and that I was curious. Yes. Not that I wanted to be part of the leather family, but I wanted to know what it entailed, but I was worried that it wouldn't be welcoming. And Elimination cut that shit right there. It was like, no, girl, what do you want to know? Let's go. I'll take you here. I'll take you there. I'll teach you what and the right things and wrong things to do. Sometimes people wear all kinds of confusing shit, right? Like you're trying to say, welcome somebody, but you're giving off the wrong.
Well, feeding the wrong. And so I thank you for even that whole pansexual versus bisexual thing, because I think it's so much deeper. Folks say, well, I do this and I do this and I'm bisexual. Well, pause, you're not, because once you dive into it and then you ask, well, are you into this person? Do you feel attracted to this person? Then it's like, no, that's not me. Well, pause. Then you need to really recognize who and what you are and how you identify sexually with someone. And then even men welcoming into the world, I'm thankful that you were even open and say, hey, I want to learn, let's go. And we've had opportunities where we've gone and we've enjoyed, we've kikied.
Yes.
We've encouraged others, we brought others with us. That's the blessing about each one teach one. And I thank you for even that opportunity and being open to that, and vice versa. You've taken me places that I'm very much that guy who is like, if it ain't melon, it ain't brown, I ain't down.
I take it to the whitest shit.
Faye is like, you gotta go, and I'm like, okay, Faye, let's go. And when I don't, Faye was like, well, how you expect it to change? I'm like, Faye, I've been there, done that. But she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay, you're right. But if I say the fire comes out, and I'm thankful for that, and I encourage you, and I tell you this all the time, and I want the viewers to know I tell Faye this all the time, and I want us to hold her accountable. Don't stop. Hold me accountable, hold others accountable, because sometimes we forget the work has to continue. And when we get lazy and tired, I'm thankful for your energy, and hopefully I can feed that back to you. When you bring me out, I can give it back to you, because once we're together, boys, girls, humans, watch out.
Whatever, it's a party.
Watch out.
It's a party. So before we get into, because I actually have a show that we have to talk about. Now we're talking about all this kind of shit. Okay. I know. But before we talk about that, I have to talk about Mr. Ramrod.
Okay. Absolutely.
Our Mr. Ramrod unfortunately backed down, right? And then somebody else was able to be given that crown, right? Why did that happen? Okay,
so we were gonna, again, words matter. So the person who won the contest by votes and everything stepped down. So we did have one. They went through their first week. They did some self-actualization.
You're a great MC, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry,
so
I don't want to forget.
Well, some people think that black folks can't talk, but I'm glad that you're not one of them. But I think what happened is once you take on that weight of community, it takes a lot to take on the weight of being a representative of a community. Because folks think just because it's the Ramrod Bar, that's all it entails. But it's more than that, because Ramrod has been a centerpiece of South Florida for so long that community outside of the bar looks up to you. They expect a certain level of interaction, a certain level of being able to speak out.
Representation. They expect you to represent.
Not only represent everyone. The blessing that I had coming in was I was a little different. I was a little brown. There wasn't many of us, but I was ready for the fight. But I won't talk about me. Somebody asked me a question about this shit on me. And so what happened was, throughout his first week and a half, he realized the pressure. And he had to think, am I ready for this? Can I step up? And he said to himself, no, I don't want to do my community wrong. I feel like I would do them a disservice. And so what he did was he went to the producer and said, you know what, I think I need to step down. Now is not my time. I have other things, mental health things, personal things, bodily things that I need to focus on. And so what happened was the producer said, you know what, we understand, because your health is more important. We'd rather you be a part of this community as a prime member versus someone who will now fall apart because of the weight.
Yeah.
And so the first runner-up was then bestowed the title.
William?
Yes, William Howard. Will Howard. He was,
William Howard, yes. I love you, dude.
Yes, he was given the opportunity. He was presented the sash this following Sunday, and we was able to give him the same speech. I give every Mr. Ramrod a speech about brotherhood, about authenticity, about realizing that our community is more than just one. bodied person,
Yeah.
that we represent our sisters, our siblings, our black folks, our Latin folks, our Asian folks, our Caucasian folks, everybody. And we have to make sure that we do the work so that everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
And you know, Will stepped up and said, you know, I think I can do this. And so I wish him well. I hope that he has a great year. I hope he make it himself better each moment. And I hope that he represents us in Chicago for IML.
And he's going to do a great job.
Absolutely.
Just as, you know, his legacy, the shoulders that he stands on are your shoulders, are James's shoulders.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Black, sexy ass, fetish man right here, leather and all. James, trans man. You know what I mean? These are things that you don't usually think about when it comes to and that's sad. Right? That maybe if I didn't tell you that, you know, that Elimination is black or that James is trans, you know, you wouldn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, breaking barriers, trailblazers, the whole fucking nine you guys have been doing, you know?
The blessing about our bar, about Ramrod itself, even, you know, this situation, but that we are understanding of what needs to happen in our community. And we are breaking down barriers. You know, I was the second official Mr. Ramrod that was a person who identified as black.
Wow, that's it? The second in how many years?
That was in 29 now. There was one gentleman who wasn't able, so I call it 2.5 because he did half his year. He was a mixed person, as I, you know, people call me half-breed, you know, I'm half black, half Indian. So I give him his respect, but then there was another who did the entire year, and then comes along me. And, you know, I got in many altercations at the bar, some physical, some mental, some verbal, about being not being muscle enough, not being Caucasian enough, not being this enough. And that's where, you know, I am enough, because regardless of what you say, what may shine.
Yes.
And we've done this year, my year, and from 2018 beyond, we've had great representation. We've had great people. We had women in our bar who held space. We brought leather girls in our bar who held space. We brought leather humans in our bar who've held space. And as you said, it takes one person, and which is why I'm glad. So Faye will always remind me about my words. And so she's like, bitch, you just said this like 2 weeks ago. Live it. I'm
You
like,
better
you're
do
right.
it.
And you make me do it.
It's
And
the truth.
so that's the blessing that we have in our community.
No, seriously. And you're a blessing to our community. And I say thank you so much for giving me this time. All right, let's start talking about shit.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Before I
This
get
bed
fired.
gets too comfortable.
I know.
I just want to move over a little closer, but I think that your Cuban might not like it.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay.
Didn't you sleep on this bed during the floods of 2023?
I slept on it. So, you know what? I don't sleep in everybody's bed. Because contrary to what people believe, so I did sleep on the chairs.
You slept on some of the chairs. All right. Let's get talking Elimination, okay? So first, Billy Porter dropped a new studio album recently called Black Mona Lisa. And in an interview with Vulture, Porter talked about his earlier attempts to make it big in the music industry back in the 90s. Porter said that he quickly grew frustrated with how music executives tried to mold him into something that he really was not. However, the straw that broke the camel's back was when his label took a song he recorded, Love Is On The Way, and gave it to Celine Dion, okay? He then explained that this wasn't about Celine Dion at all. It was about the systems of oppression. Billy had to sacrifice his song for freaking Celine Dion. What are we all talking about? What do you think? What do you think about that?
So you know, I do remember Billy of the 90s, and I do know that there was a big craze about black singers, and it had to be hyper masculine, and they was, you know, the Trey Songz, I'm sorry, not Trey Songz, but the Albie Shores,
the Heavy D's, the big, yeah.
The guys, the Boys, the Men, the BBD. So I do get the hyper masculinity part, and the song that he's speaking of that Celine did, their versions are very unique in their own way. And Celine's version that's on the First Wives Club for that segment, I don't think would have fit the Billy Porter's version.
Okay.
Because it was about women, there was three women experiencing with their friends committing suicide. And so in my research, I get very careful when male identified folks blame women for anything. Let's blame the record producers, because maybe they realized maybe Celine would have had a better push.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't push him hard enough because his song was amazing, his version. And his version is also on the soundtrack.
Really?
His version is also, and I didn't write, but they highlight her version because it fit within the song. Because at the point, Goldie Hawn, Bette Midler, all of them, they were not talking. And so they were like reflecting on their lives. And so I think that what I took from this is realizing that he didn't fit the mold of that femme presenting person. And then he's taking on the fact of, I wanted to be gayer than I was. They were making me be, and in the 90s, we all had to, as a black male, you could not show any bit of
flamboyancy,
any sugar in your tank, any of those things. And so I questioned myself. And so the question I had for Billy was, is it because they didn't push it hard enough? Because Billy had a little slight push in the 90s, and then it kind of like
died down. Yeah. Kind of fizzled.
And it fizzled a lot.
And then he went on to Broadway and to do other things.
He did a lot of things at Broadway where his art was more appreciated because he could be all of those things that he really wanted to be.
In Kinky Boots, he like literally played himself.
He played and he fit that mold because there was nobody in that mold. And so in preparing for this, I thought about you again. You kicking my butt like, yo, you got to come to these places. So maybe if he would have maybe taken that chance to step up and say, you know what, I can still sing in this voice and still be same gender loving and be okay. And I know it's fearful, you know, and it took a long time for a lot of us to come into our own without any having to substance to build us to be any better. And so I thought it was interesting. I'm glad he retracted not about Celine. Yeah. Because I really was like, when I dig into this, I was like, if he came at Celine, I would have had to come a little bit harder at him because you can't really blame her for doing a job.
Completely. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, who leads a lot of these record companies? White cis men. Absolutely. Okay. So they're the ones that are going to decide this. And like you said, he didn't fit the mold. Would it have been better for them to push him more? Of course, you know, but again, it was the freaking 90s. And you think of Celine Dion, that was at her height. Her height. You're not going to go up against this white woman that is doing Titanic. Absolutely. So I mean, I get it. Thank you for letting us know about it, Billy Porter. I say re-release that shit on Spotify.
And absolutely. But see, I will. So look, but if he does, Billy, I need you to go back to that Billy, that baritone voice, not that screamer voice, bro, Billy, that you're giving us now. Love you to death, but yeah, we got to go back.
More the
because that deeper, he told a story like that. I listened to both. He took you on the ride. He took you on that ride about heartbreak, about love. Yep. And although, again, because I was all in arms about this, but then I was like, hold on, it's on the soundtrack. But it's a great soundtrack to listen to from beginning to end. And you could go on that ride with him. So maybe if they would have found a Melanin movie and maybe put a song on, it might have got a better push. It might have been received a whole lot better. But the record company was like, how do I make the most bang out of this buck? And
it would have been better when how Stella got her groove back.
It could have been, you know, any of those things. Wait and Exhale, you know what I mean? Any of those kind of type movies, you know. But we know as folks who've been in the industry that they do remix all the time.
Of course.
Tina Turner's What Love Got to Do With It was a Caucasian group song first before, but she added her swing to it.
Of course, Whitney Houston, the song was Dolly Parton.
Right,
I mean,
all of those,
it happens.
It happens.
It happens.
The record producers push. And I think because Billy was still up and coming, still trying to find his niche, you know, just this Star Search, still trying to find his crowd, still trying to find his way.
It was easier to just say, of course.
And get right to Celine.
Of course. All right, Celine, you got that point. Next. The colorful ring-shaped breakfast Fruit Loops, which is literally a rainbow in a bowl, is under fire for a promotion included on its boxes in Canada, which offers youngsters and their family access to a library of free content focused on equality, diversity, and inclusion. And God forbid they have that, right? So the themes of the works in the library include gender, immigration, multiculturalism, and disability, and titles such as Maggie's Chopsticks, My City Speaks, and Razia's Ray of Hope. And now prominent conservative commentators are outraged that the brand is encouraging children and their families to read different types of books together and have called for parents to boycott the brand of cereal. Conservatives of Canada love to boycott shit. I just don't get it. What are we all talking about? Why are you messing with our Fruit Loops? I love me some Fruit Loops, man.
Oh my gosh. Like, you said a rainbow in a box. So Faye, you know, I'm about to go Black Power. So you know what they're doing. So you know that the melanin folks, you know who eat sugar cereals. You know who eats sugar cereals. Okay. You know who have to fix their boxes of cereal on their own because their parents have
already left in the morning.
They have to work.
That was us.
And so what they're doing is they're trying to make sure that these young babies don't read. Because stupid. Think about it. The more you read, the more you're like, wait a minute, you're preventing me from learning who I am. You're preventing me from learning about my siblings. You're preventing me from opening my mind to more. So what they want us to do is be shadowed in our box, to believe everything that they tell us. So now you and I, or people, segments come into war together and then become, I hate to say it, but ignorant of the ways. So get off of it. It's a rainbow in a box.
It's a rainbow in a box. I mean, again, and they're pushing you to read. Like, you would think that would be a good thing. I mean, again, they want us stupid. They want our kids stupid.
They want.
You know? How are you going to take, okay, we live in South Florida, right? So they've banned fucking every single book that you could ever think of, you know?
Oh my God.
Maya Angelou. How are you going to take out Maya Angelou's book from the library to have kids not be able to open that beauty in words, you know?
Ruby Bridges' book, the story of Ruby Bridges, a young black child who, as a child, faced a mob of folks and changed the world. You got to remember to think about the cereal boxes of our generation. They had various stars, Olympic stars, and people.
Wheaties.
And if you didn't like that particular star, you went to this box of cereal. It's the same brand, but the problem is they have to find something to talk about in order to make sure that we don't grow as a society. To figure out how could they make our world so much worse, quote unquote, or that we're not realizing that we can ask for more. Because the reason these books are so important about our various siblings and Bill having two parents of the same gender. Because when we go to school, we see those people inside of our classrooms, and we have to learn how to have good human character. But if you remove that, you now allow that negativity, that fire inside of schools.
Yeah. Last thing on this, the reality is that when we were kids, we didn't have cell phones, right? It wasn't easily that we can Google this, right? Today, everybody's got a phone, including kids, right? They don't let you read that book. F them. Go look it up on Google, because you can find out everything you need to know about your true, authentic self. There's nothing wrong with who you love and what you look like. All right. So again, Google is key. Next, the North Hertfordshire Museum will update its display about a Roman emperor after determining that she had been a transgender woman. I freaking knew it. Yes. The museum will now refer to Emperor Elagabalus with the pronoun she, her. Elagabalus's gender identity has long been a topic of debate amongst historians and academics, with historical accounts alluding to requests by the emperor to be referred to as a woman, okay? It was decided that the museum would reclassify Elagabalus as a transgender woman based on classical texts that report the Roman ruler as saying, quote, "Call me not Lord, for I am a lady," end quote. The museum accepts Elagabalus's gender identity, and what are we all talking about? I'm elated over this. We didn't just come out of the woodwork, I've been blessed to go to the Vatican. I've been blessed to go to Greece recently, right? A lot of shit happened before Christ, right? A lot of stuff, because we live in the U.S. where we haven't even made real history, you know what I mean? And we're imploding already. But we forget about how much history, how long people have been walking this earth, Lumination, So we didn't, when people say, oh, I don't want to deal with pronouns and I don't want to deal with all those new letters that you want to add to the acronym. Bitch, we're just evolving because we've always been here. We've been here since the beginning of freaking time. And this is proof right here.
This is proof. So first, I love the way you say Elagabalus. That's made me a little excited. But yes, this is so proof that we've always been here, and that folks the fight is not a new fight. It's an unfortunate that it's not a new fight. And the fact that this person who lived their authentic truth and say, you know what, no, call me who I am. And it's unfortunate. And it made me even think the hate is real because Elagabalus died at 18. Assassinated. So, I think murdered. Just, I wonder, it makes you wonder, was it because call me she, call me her, call me wife? Did they not know how to deal with it? And I even want to push on that point of you saying that we walked this earth for a long time. Indian, indigenous folks have been here. Yes, Two-spirited folks have been here. The people who blessed children, the people who welcomed and prayed over folks, the medicine folks, all those people were two-spirited, were folks who are both genders because they were able to think outside the box. Yeah. And it was not until those folks who said they don't want to think outside, that says it has to be my way, who cut us all out of history. Yep. And then rewrote it for themselves to want to make sure that they don't think that we're smart enough. Yeah. I love how you said in the earlier segment, Google it, research it, realize you've always been here. You've always been here. You're now demanding your space.
It's, we get Columbus Day off. And I get livid over Columbus Day. I refuse to freaking celebrate a day. Christopher Columbus did not discover America, okay? All those stupid little songs that they made me sing when I was in elementary school were garbage. It was a lie. You can't find a place that's already inhabited, okay? There were people already there. The indigenous people had been living there forever. You can't discover a place that already has people in it.
Thanksgiving. they took you the story of Thanksgiving. So the Indian folks have always celebrated a festival such as Thanksgiving. It just so happens when these white folks came, the Caucasian folks came, the Puritans came, where they didn't know anything. They came over to a country that was not theirs and decided to make it their own. And the indigenous folks, the Indians said, we do this, welcome you in. And then what happens? They kill us. They put us in reservations. They damage. And they make the history all about, well, we wanted to make peace with them. No, you was invited to their party, and what did you do? You stabbed them in the back and you killed them. You brought disease, and you made the story like, well, they were bad, so it's our holiday now. We had to give thanks for that.
So let's give thanks.
But we killed them. We're not
But
going
we
to
killed them, you know, again. But these are things that you won't be told in history, and they don't want you to read your own books and find out for yourself. Again, Google it. Next, former NBA player Dwayne Wade says he salutes actor and comedian Marlon Wayans after the comedian spoke out in support of his transgender son. Wayans recently spoke about his son Kai while promoting his new stand-up special, Good Grief Wade, whose own daughter is transgender, understands the gravity of this action and stands by Wayans. Talking to GQ, Wade said, quote, "I think unconditional love allows us to step in and listen and learn of what we do not know and what we were not taught, especially in the Black community," end quote. Well said, Dwayne Wade. Well said, and well said, Marlon Wayans. I couldn't agree with you more. What are we all talking about? We talked about this a few weeks ago on IHO. And you know, the point that I had mentioned was that, you know, I love when something like this happens to a Black or brown person, because all of a sudden it's put into the forefront and you listen. You know, unfortunately, Black and brown folks, it's hard for us, you know, to come out to our families. It's hard for us to be gay in our community, you know. So when somebody with this much clout on this kind of a platform, right? Yeah. He's fucked. It's his kid. You know what I mean? You're forced to deal with your kid.
Yeah. And he spoke in I, me, my statements. You know, he didn't say how you should deal. He didn't tell you how you should handle your business. But he's telling it from his own personal perspective.
I love that, because you can't tell people how to parent.
And see what happens, I think, where we often, the misguiding or the things that go left and people stop listening is you dictate, you tell. We've been bombarded with being told how to live, what we should do all the time. And so he's flipped the script. He said, this is how I am dealing it. I am often messing up on pronouns. I am often realizing that I am losing a child, but gaining a child in a different perspective. I still have my child. And so he had to learn how to go through all those emotions. And he teaches that I, me, my. So he's also now giving the example to someone who's listening that you will, but listen through my story. And so when you notice if the parallels may be the same. So it's still going to be your journey, but you can learn from my journey. And the crazy thing is, and I thought about it after the show, is we often are taught about how to just survive and live besides being gay. So our parents teach us about how to be a woman, you know, and maybe in your example, or how to be a Black man, how to survive. And then because they teach us all those things, they forget how to teach us how to just be wonderful in ourselves.
How to be ourselves.
And so Marlon is telling his child at his home, I love you, I believe in you, I want you to be the best you, regardless of what the world has to offer. I'm gonna build you up so when you go outside, you can be safe. And I think unfortunately, our parents can narrow their focus on survival. And so now he's in a situation where now he can teach his child not only about survival, but about living. And I think that now, hopefully in the world today, we can get to that point where parents can say, yes, you have to survive, put 10 and 12, 10 and 2 when the police pull you over, but guess what? It's okay to be different. It's okay to be you. It's okay, because I will still love you when you come home.
Okay. Let me be devil's advocate for a second, okay? So Marlon Wayans, scary movie, like, help me out.
Scary movie.
What was the show back in the 90s? In Living Color, Wayans Brothers. They had all kinds of big hits, right? And then for the last couple of years, not too in the news, right? Not too much.
White Shakes. He does a couple comedy specials here and there. He has the Wayans name.
No, again, and that's it. You don't need to do much. You don't need to do much more. But do you think that, because like now what he was saying on the Breakfast Club was that part of his stand-up is now a whole segment is about his transgender kid. So do you think he's also trying to like queer bait and trying to get some LGBTQ plus folks to start watching him? I mean, it's not a bad idea. I'm just saying, you know.
So I'm gonna tell you no. And the reason I think no is I think he still performs comedically. He was in the movies. He was attached to Jennifer Hudson for a minute, so he's still kind of relevant. I think if you just watch and investigate most comedy performers, they tell you their best stand-ups are real life. And so what he's saying is, you know what? I had to take this happening in my world and use it for my benefit. And not only am I using it for my benefit, but I'm also going to educate. And what better way to check all the boxes? Be a better human. Educate,
be a good dad,
and be a good dad. And because I think I see in that household when he messes up and calls him by the wrong pronouns, I think he's giving his children enough power to say, "Yo, you know you're wrong for that. Yeah, fix it." And he has to be receptive of that. And I think what he's doing is checking all those boxes to be like realizing that the people who come into his arenas and in the house to hear him speak realize they have someone at home like that. Yeah. I can do better. So I don't think it's necessarily queer baiting. He's more educationally sound. Good. And using it for the right platform.
Good. Well said. And yeah, for sure. Okay, so finally, Argentina's right-wing president-elect Javier Milei, is it Milei? I think it's Milei, reportedly seeks political counsel from his dogs, okay, including one from beyond the grave. He contacts through a medium. Journalist Juan Luis Gonzalez's unauthorized biography of Milei has made this claim. In an interview with Spanish newspaper 20 Minutos, 20 Minutos, Gonzalez said Milei had allegedly made efforts to contact his pet, Conan, who died in 2017. But much of his campaign on rallying against what he labeled a socialist agenda, which he believes includes the LGBTQ plus lobby and Pope Francis. Dog love is fine, but why hate LGBTQ plus community with it? And why talk to your dog from beyond to get insight? What are we all talking about? What do you think about this crazy guy from Argentina?
Dude, go 2 houses over. You have an LGBTQ person that's lived there. Talk to them, get some insight. Allow them to tell that lived experience. Stop trying to these stories from these folks who don't want you to love who you love.
But
don't
we'll
want
talk to a dog.
But we'll talk to it. No, a dead.
A dead dog.
Because I thought you are a pet lover.
No, and so are you.
And I am. And so
we talk to our pets
all day.
We do.
Like, hey, why you not loving me enough? Or go over there. Or here's a treat. But why you gotta wait? Like, what do you like? But yet you want to speak to hate. You want to dive hate in this one particular direction. You want to turn people against each other in this one particular direction. But a ghost from not even a human ghost, a dog that doesn't even speak human, is going to tell you how to behave.
But not even a human elimination.
Right,
You shouldn't be. These things are so freaking important, you know? Like, come on, there's so much crap happening to LGBTQ plus. Like, every time I turn around, we see another news story of another country being awful. You know, I mean, the UK, like, it's just, Italy, like, it's just crazy what people, these fascists are doing. And, he's getting his advice from a dog. I mean, people's lives are at stake. Elimination.
Literally, day by day.
Literally.
People are getting stoned, hung,
People are committing suicide.
Like, even that, or just being killed just for living themselves because someone says, I don't like it. And then what happens is their defense becomes, well, the public, the media, I was afraid, I didn't know how. And they can now cite all these sources. And then that becomes a justification, which is wrong because this person wants to not look for human life or not go to his neighbor and see this neighbor is struggling, but wants to talk to the dead dog. I mean, the dead dog. I'm going to use the Baltimore. The dead dog. Right, advice. Come on.
No, I'd ask, Oh, no point.
No.
The FayWhat show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America, and Hotspots magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 37 years, and Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. So, Elimination, your first time with me here on the FayWhat show. What did you think?
Oh my gosh, let me just let you know, I had the biggest orgasm being here with you. Like, it has been such an honor.
The second hole.
I reached, yes, we'll see. Yes. Okay, I'm speechless. But I wanted to just give you a gift. And
is that drugs? I don't do drugs.
Is that a drug? No. and leather community pins me and everything. And so I'm giving you a pin of the leather flag for the BIPOC flag for folks of color. My gift to you, it's a pin. And so normally in our world, there's a certain place that I would pin you.
Okay. On my titty?
I could, but that's not the place I would want it. That's not the place that I would really do it.
Oh.
It might be in your private area, but we can do your BJJ, your Susan.
I mean.
And you have to keep it there until you have sex. So you and a Cuban have to we have to work it out.
No problem. We broke the bed yesterday.
Ooh. That's the story I wanted to hear.
I woke up and there was these 3 little wooden things on the floor, and I'm like, what is this shit, right? Like, where's this coming from? Yes. And I look under the bed, and the whole bottom is like messed up from our last little escapade.
The banging. So this has been an awesome experience, and that does represent the melanin folks in leather. We often don't get seen. So kudos to Paco, Taisha Best for creating that pen,
Thank you so much.
and having our community be represented. But Faye, I've been looking forward to this. I'm so glad that we're able to make it happen.
You're gonna come back next time you have a Monday off. I know that you work too much, man.
I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do some more booze. Maybe have Kiki Boo session.
I love that.
And then just love on it. And then we're gonna have a bottom, all we see is their butt. and their feet.
I
And then
love
we'll
that.
just do lots of
I'll
things.
be good
as
with that.
we-
And then we can slap on their butts while
we
we
can
do
slap.
it.
And if there's a topic that we don't like, we do 2 bangs for not liking it and 1 bang for liking
I
it.
love it. I see a red rosy butt by the end of it. That'll be awesome.
That would be, and then heat, and then we both can put our faces on it and feel the warmth
Ooh, I love it.
of the flavor.
Of a baby butt, like just nice and
Yes.
like hot from you slapping it.
Yes.
You know I know what that is.
I know
love
you
it.
do. You broke the bed. You just told me.
Shit.
You ain't banging.
And you have anything fun stuff coming up soon?
So the great thing
Holidays
is,
and stuff coming up?
well, I just got back from hosting a BIPOC event with the Leather Girls of Color up in Clearwater.
Love.
There was a Florida Power Exchange. We had a great weekend. Over 300 registered folks of leather, kinky folks, a bunch of humans of all genders, all types, all humans. And I was blessed to host a social with the Leather Girls of Color.
Oh, I love.
Which was awesome because, again, leather women don't often get their space.
Yeah.
And it was great to see that the organization has been around for 2 years.
What's their name?
No, their name is the Leather Girls of Color.
That's their name.
That's
Okay,
that's
okay,
the
I
whole
love it.
organization.
Okay.
It's all-
LGOC.
yes, LGOC, exactly.
love
Look
it.
it up.
Uh-huh.
And so, especially if you're a person of color who know that you are a leather girl, LGOC.
For sure.
And so that was awesome to start off the holidays with. Going into the holidays, I feel a little bah humbug, so I may not put up a tree, but I will do like a wreath. I will do Christmas cards.
Okay.
I will do kind of that thing. There's a few other little leather events coming up. I'm looking forward to just spending time with quality folks.
I love that.
Messing with you some more as we normally do. I won't tell the viewers about our New Year's
No,
story.
don't tell
I
them.
won't even tell them. So we're gonna hope for better things.
We're gonna
in the
hope for
year.
better
We're gonna
things.
hope.
I totally dissed him last New Year's. I got so freaking wrapped up in being home that I just didn't want to travel from Miami up to Wilton, and I was like, I'm staying home, Elimination. I'm sorry. And it was like New Year's, like 10 p.m. That's when I fucking called him.
But that's the best. The thing is, as humans, we have to learn that it's okay. Because I probably would have done the same if you said come to Miami. I'm like, well, yeah, Miami's kind of far. It's 10 o'clock. But the great thing about it is we live in South Florida.
Yes.
And there's fun things happening everywhere, whether
All the
it's your
time.
house, whether it's in Wilton Drive, whether it's on South Beach. There's so many great things. So what are your plans for the holidays?
I don't know. I can't think past today. My birthday's on the 19th. Christmas, New Year's, all of that.
Christmas, baby. Oh,
Don't smile. I always get that. This is for Christmas and for your birthday. Esto.
Oh my gosh! So my grandmother's birthday was December 23rd.
Oh, so she got it too.
And so my mother made sure that we always got her 2 gifts. Like you had to say birthday gift,
I love
and
that.
you had to say Christmas gift.
She's
And
smart.
the crazy thing was though, they often was wrapped in the same package
same
in a bag.
paper.
Because
We're in the same bag.
right,
I
because
mean-
in the 70s back then, or the 70s, 80s, we didn't have like those the little cute little tote bags. It was like the wrapping
You gotta
paper.
wrap it
And so
however.
you have-
It's like
you
the
have
weird
brown
basketball
paper.
look all crazy and shit,
but we're gonna make sure. Promise. Now that I know, so we're going to do the countdown for to December 19th of celebrating all
My
the
birthday, man.
what moments.
Yeah,
Yes, I love
yeah.
that. Yes,
I'm
you gotta get you
old.
excited.
I'm old. I look good for my age, but I'm old. So I'm not gonna tell you my age, and I'm never ever gonna tell you my age.
There's a
And-
wait in the exhale moment that says, "Girl, you still look good."
Oh, you still look good. But if you put all those candles on a cake, we might cause a fire. So I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, Elimination, I love you. Thank you so much. Please come back on the show with me. I have a segment on Transgender Day of Remembrance coming up, and that was very important to me
Yes.
because we did that together as well, and we've done that last year as well. And never forget. And like Elimination says, I keep him in check, he keeps me in check. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you got to make sure you got to show up for this, and this. All right, no problem. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
I love you to the
Thank
moon
you for the
and
work
back.
that you do. And as viewers, I'm gonna share this moment that I had with Faye a little while ago. I told Faye, continue to stand in places that are uncomfortable. Continue to make these folks uncomfortable. And then when they invite you, show up. Whether their audience don't, but there's a reason that you're in the room. And so I encourage you, this is my early birthday gift to you. Continue to do that. Make them uncomfortable. But when they invite you, stand and be the loudest Latina crazy person that you can. Because you talk about folks on my shoulders, but I am now carried with you under your arm, on your shoulders, in your heart, and others just like me. So continue to do that and allow us to give you that blessing. So when they do offer you that moment, take it. Don't think about who's going to be in the audience. Don't think about who the viewership is. Know that somebody wanted you there, and allow yourself that grace and that space to do all of that. And then you can always bring your little chocolate covered brother, this crazy person along with you, and I'll be right there with you.
We both can't swim.
At all.
And that's just the
But
side of the note.
yeah. So don't put us in a boat. And that's a really big one.
And there's somebody that can save us.
Yes.
Give me a kiss. Get out of my bed. Mwah. I love you so much. Wow. Thank you, Elimination Onyx, for joining me in bed. So did you know that the Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square, which also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church located in Fort Lauderdale. We broadcast their Sunday service every week at 10:30 a.m. FayWhat show, we bring you interesting interviews from amazing people, like this interview that I got to do with Danny and Ron from Danny and Ron's Rescue and In the Doghouse, their docuseries that you have to see. Check it out. Look at his beautiful face. This is Howdy. Isn't he adorable? And look, I am so excited about today's show. You would think that freaking Lady Gaga and Madonna both had a baby and that they allowed me to interview it, okay? Because in bed with me, what do I have? Amazing, amazing doggies and amazing, amazing gay boys. And that is what encompasses FayWhat. Hello and welcome to the FayWhat show. And I am here with Danny Robertshaw and Ron Danta. I am so excited to have you boys here. You have no idea.
To be here.
We are very excited to be here
That's
with
fun.
you.
Do you feel like how excited I am?
We can feel the energy.
Is it a little scary? Because I can sometimes come across a little
No.
scary.
No, we're brave.
No. Okay.
We like enthusiasm.
Okay, good. Because, listen, dogs are asshole whisperers. They really know, they know if you're an asshole or not. All right, okay, let's get to it, okay? So Danny and Ron's Rescue speaks for helpless animals that really have no voice, okay? So they began their rescue mission back in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina by aiding dogs that were left homeless by the storm. And since then, their outreach has grown to heights never imagined. Now they're rescuing from puppy mills and bait dogs used in dogfighting rings and hundreds of dogs from shelters, often moments away from being euthanized. They currently deliver pet food and supplies to more than 48 elderly people living in poverty and pay for their dogs' medical bills too. They have rescued dogs from junkyards and shelters, freed animals chained to trees and living in small cages, and saved abandoned pets living on the streets. Now, here's the difference, though, between Danny and Ron's Rescue, right? They have more than 100 pups in their home, living with them in South Carolina. It's wild, all right? Welcome, Danny and Ron, to FayWhat's bed. So, boys, my house is a mess. I board and rescue, and I woke up this morning to 5 pups around me and my wife, right? And when I spoke to Ron this morning, he said, 5 pups, that's just not enough. You need more than that. How many pups, this morning, how many pups did you wake up with?
We have 12 in the house here down in Florida.
In West Palm.
Yep. But then at home, we have 143 in South Carolina.
143. Wow. Do you move the dogs around so some could sleep with you, or do you just have the A-list that always sleeps with you?
They move us around.
They move. You end up finding Danny in one of the little doggy beds somewhere.
Yeah, and heaven forbid you go to the bathroom and try to come back and reclaim your spot.
Oh no, your spot is done. Your spot is over. So, boys, you've always loved animals since you were both kids, okay? Did both of you love animals as you were kids, or did one of you get suckered into it, like my wife? She didn't grow up with dogs. Her dogs were outside, and then she meets me, and every other week there's a new dog. No dogs are ever outside. They eat better than we do. Were you both into animals your whole life?
We both were.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I love how one writer put it online when he described you both. I'm gonna do it in his voice. Danny Robershaw was a well-known writer and trainer up and down the East Coast. Ron Danta had moved his horses to South Carolina to a farm he'd purchased with the hope of launching a business. The two men had met, but it wasn't until their lives began to circle closer to one another that they became good friends. Not long after they decided to become business partners. Danta divorced his wife and had an epiphany. The two men became partners in life with their dogs forever. Does that sound like a movie or a sitcom to you? Because that's your life. What do you feel when I read that?
Pretty much is.
It sounds crazy, Faye.
But
I'm sure people wonder what's wrong with us having that many dogs in a house.
well, and is there something wrong with you with having that many dogs in the house?
Probably.
Well, probably.
Probably, but I mean that's not a bad thing, you know. I mean, I love animals, and more than people sometimes. I've got to tell you that I can watch TV and a person gets killed, and I'm like, okay, right? I'm kind of like desensitized to it. But if a dog dies on a movie,
That's it.
I can't. I was tricked, okay, bamboozled into watching A Dog's Purpose. Did you see that movie?
No.
Don't. Okay, the dog comes back it dies and comes back, and it dies and comes back, and has a different purpose in life every time the dog comes back. It's a beautiful story, but every time the dog died, I was crying like fountains, like fountains. Do you think that as pet lovers and dog lovers, we're cursed to love them too much?
No, I think we were blessed.
How so?
Well, I can tell you, Faye, from having adopted over 14,000 dogs out of our home, I can speak for Danny, but we have become better human beings because of what we've learned from the dogs. Dogs don't judge if they're black, brown, yellow, Chihuahua, Great Dane, whatever. They all intermingle, all become friends. And so I think we've been very blessed to be able to do this in our life.
Yeah. Like I always, like I said, I rescue and I also have a dog boarding company. So I'm really blessed to have both. And you will see a Rottweiler with a Doberman with a Chihuahua, and their temperament is all love, and there's nothing, and they make friends like nothing, and then you would, and then I sometimes when it's like, wow, this Chihuahua's parents are two gay men in Wilton. This, Doberman's parents is a straight couple down in Miami, and it's like it's just incredible how that is. Do we not see the amazing things that dogs can get through? I mean, they are the most resilient things I have ever encountered in my life.
Yeah, most people, I don't think, with some of the dogs we get from puppy mills and abuse court cases, I think most human beings would be in therapy the rest of their life. Dogs, like you said, are so resilient. Mm-hmm. They can put it behind them and just start loving again. It's unconditional love.
What did you say about Howdy? Howdy, you said he was abused by his...
He was a court case, yes. His owner, because he barks, kicked him so badly, he shattered both front legs. So he has 2 plates in each leg and screws. And he used to be very scared of people, and he is very friendly.
Now he's so happy, right?
Yes,
he's very happy.
What do you tell someone that goes by that lingo? You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I tell them they're crazy.
Bullshit.
That is crap, right? I mean, no, but it really is. It really is true. With as many pups in bed with you all the time, do you have time to get mad at each other? Let me explain that to you, okay? So me and my wife will have 12 pups, and I'll be mad at her for something silly, like not taking out the garbage or not separating the recycling, because she knows I hate when she doesn't do that, right? But then when it's time to feed the 12 pups we have, we get synced. We're in a lineup. We're passing the bowls, and everything is flawless, and we've completely forgot about why we were mad at each other,
right.
Does that happen with you folks?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, it's the old saying, love changes everything. And I think what love these dogs give us, like I said, it's changed our lives.
I know, you can tell. And they can tell, and they're so happy for it.
Yes.
Does your relationship fall to the wayside?
A little bit. It's hard to just find time to just go somewhere and just sort of get away, have a drink or two, or just go have fun for an hour or two, because we're always concerned about who's there with the dogs.
Yeah.
If someone's there with the dogs, which nowadays they always are. Um,
And you have an incredible group of people that
We have
are around
wonderful
you. You're
people.
so blessed.
we are. We're very blessed, and it's fun because people are so different, and so are the dogs, and you can quickly find out who suits who well,
Yes.
and that type of magic that happens, and we have a couple of people that just love walking certain dogs particularly, and what their bond is with them, I don't know, but they're easy to bond with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like Speckles, who's pretty much can be a snob. He has to go upstairs with the girls that work in the office at the house. He has to go every day. It's like it's his job.
Really, like to make sure they're all in their right
Yeah,
place.
at 8 o'clock, he's right there at the bottom of the stairs, waiting on the first one to show up.
Goodness, but
And,
they're so smart. They're so smart. This happens to me countless, where I by mistake will lock a dog in the utility room, and there's another dog in front of the door barking at me, trying to tell me,
Saying,
"You
"Come on,
left the
Faye."
dog in the utility room, Faye. Wake up! What's wrong with you?" Do you boys go on vacation?
We do. We go once a year, Faye. We go to Aruba, and we do a lot of outreach on the island of Aruba. They kill 8,000 a year on the island,
Wow.
and so we do a lot of free spay neuter. We help medically. We bring like $60,000 worth of medical supplies when we go there for the rescues, and then we help and take them shopping and take dogs to vets while we're on vacation. But that is our yearly vacation.
Well, good. Good. I'm glad that you at least take a vacation, even though it's a working vacation. You know, I've learned a lot from both of you. And I know that
That's scary.
No, I know that I can be a lot. I know that I'm a lot, and I know that I'm talking to you like I've known you forever, but it's because I feel like I've known you since 2018. So you've been my friends for 5 years, even though I've only been your friend for the last 5 minutes, And it's just, it's one of those things. I've learned so much. And one of the things that I learned was, now when I rescue out a pup, I tell them what you tell them, okay? If you don't want this pup for any reason, if the medical bills, if something happens and you can't any longer take care of this pet, bring me back the dog. I never want a dog to go somewhere else, even to get a second home or anything like that.
Or an unknown where
Yes,
you can't find them.
exactly.
and
It's
know
a
that they're
lifetime
okay.
promise.
I learned that from you, and that's just such a wonderful gift that you give, to the next person, and people have to learn that. Something else that I learned from you was when you guys went to Aruba and you did the outreach. Now, whenever I go on vacation, I find a local rescue and I just volunteer for the day, for a couple of hours. So I've done it in Costa Rica, I've done it in the Bahamas, I've done it in different places in the U.S., and you'd be surprised what a couple of hours volunteering can help an organization. And again, something else I learned out from you. So I say thank you for that.
And it puts a bright spot in their day. The people working in those shelters
Yeah.
and
Howdy.
those programs.
Come here.
It gets pretty mundane and old and sad sometimes.
Yeah.
And just having somebody come in with some enthusiasm and showing some appreciation for what they do and paying attention to the dogs and giving them another moment to have another sip of coffee or whatever.
Yeah. No, it
It's
does
very-
help, right?
It's important for rescue people to know that people care about them too.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Do you ever just want to give up?
Momentarily.
Okay. No, but and that's an honest answer. I will come home crying with a cat that I found on the side of the road. Things will always happen like that. And my wife will always say, and I hate to call her out because she's a dog lover and she loves all the dogs I bring home, but she will always say, Faye, you can't save them all, or we'll drive by a dog on the side. I'm like, wait, stop. And she'll go, Faye, we can't save them all, What do you say to that? But I'm going to try, right?
Yeah, no, it's hard. I
If
mean,
there's
we
anyway.
we cry a lot when we get horrible cases, but rescue is worth it because all of them are worth it.
Just like us. They're
Yeah,
enough. They're
yeah.
enough too. Let's talk about the movie, the documentary, which is how I even found out about these two exceptional boys,
Howdy.
right? So,
Howdy.
come here.
Howdy.
Come here. It's just that you want to be on TV. And the thing is that you have the face for TV. Look,
He does.
don't we both look at this.
He's got a motorcycle cap too.
I love him. He's perfect. So Life in a Doghouse is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, man, you're missing out. It's such a great
Yeah,
docuseries.
it's not on Netflix anymore.
Oh, where is it now?
They did an 18-month contract. It's on Amazon Prime, on Hulu, YouTube.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, so before it was just Netflix. Now you can find it in a bunch of other places. So make sure that you go watch it because it's amazing. So Life in the Doghouse tells the inspiring story of these two incredible men and the remarkable story surrounding the work they do at Danny and Ron's rescue. So since 2005, they've rescued 600 dogs in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, like I had told you. And, now they've saved nearly 14,000 abused, abandoned, and starving dogs. And so the Bark magazine said about your documentary, quote, Life in a Doghouse, a love story about the work of a courageous animal-loving couple who have devoted their lives to dogs. Cute? That was cute of them, right?
They missed one thing. They didn't say crazy.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
Howdy.
How did the docu-series come to pass?
We had it's a friend of ours now, but at the time, we'd probably met years and years ago, but not really remembering. And he came to the house, this nice-looking fellow, and he said, I need another dog to be with my dog. It needs
Howdy.
company.
Howdy.
And he says, I don't like Chihuahuas, and other than that, it's fine. And so we talked for a while and told him all about what we were doing and how important it was to us. And so as he leaves, he says, well, gentlemen, not only have you put a Chihuahua in my arms I'm going home with, but you're also going to be my next documentary.
Oh my God!
So we shut the door and kind of elbowed each other and snickered.
And we're like, hell no, I'm not
and
doing
it was
that.
like, you said what word you like, but it was kind of like, all right, so what are we going to do? Just get up every morning and feed 60 dogs and
And be filmed while doing it?
and just watch us that way. And that's because I hadn't opened my mind to the fact that we were doing so many other things.
Yeah.
And the time it took away from doing other things that we probably would have done ordinarily.
How long did they film you for the docu-series?
Let's see, what was it, a year and a half?
What?
Yeah, it took about a year and a
Oh,
half because
wow.
we train horses for a living.
Yes.
So we would be at horse shows and we had to actually leave a horse show when Louisiana flooded so that we could go down and save dogs. And we, documentaries have to be under 90 minutes. So a lot of what he filmed, even we were on fire trucks saving dogs in the water and all that stuff.
Oh, that would've been good.
Didn't make it in the movie because he had to keep it under 90 minutes.
Mhm.
So it was a lot
And
to get in.
But a
his
year and
name-
a half into 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Ron Davis. And he kept calling him he, but he's
Yeah.
Ron Davis.
And I heard that Ron Davis might be thinking of doing something in the future with you folks again.
Yes,
Right?
we're very excited. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Faye, you cross your toes and your fingers.
I'm crossing everything because I want that to happen. So because I was thinking of, you guys have seen the show Pitbulls and Parolees,
Oh, yes.
right? Where they've
I
been
watch it a
around.
lot. Yes.
Tia has been around forever doing
Yes.
that, and that brought in a good amount of money to help the rescue continue to
Right.
go, Would that be an avenue that you would consider? I mean, it
Yeah.
does take a long time.
It would take a long time, but it's, as all rescues and shelters currently right now are struggling, donation wise and everything. So that would be a great shot in the arm for us. I mean, Life in the Doghouse put us in a whole different dimension. I mean, it's amazing. Like when it was on Netflix, we had over 3.2 million views in over 48 countries.
That's
So-
amazing. That's amazing. Any backlash because you're gay? Anybody?
Don't really know. After Life in the Doghouse came out, we received thousands of emails from people. And I'll tell you one quick story. We got one from a girl in Alabama. And she said she watched Life in the Doghouse. She was so impressed and all this stuff. And she goes, here's the bad news. And she said, I have 5 siblings. My father raised us that homosexuality was subhuman.
Wow.
And she said, after watching the two of you on this film, thank you for proving my father wrong. And she said, and now my project is to become as good of a human being as you two are.
Oh my God.
But we got many. We actually got one from Broward County here where it was a family with 3 children. And the next weekend, after they watched Life in the Doghouse, they were going to go to a pet store here in Broward County and buy a puppy for the kids. And so they said, okay, it's Saturday, kids, come on, we're going to go get you a puppy. And the oldest child looked at him and said, Mom and Dad, we can't do that. Remember what we saw in Life in the Doghouse?
Oh my God.
So they went to Broward County Shelter and adopted.
I love both those stories.
Yeah.
Those are such great stories. And those are the ones that you need to like really focus on when you get crap, you know, when bad things happen, you know?
We had another thing that was really funny during the filming because they followed us everywhere we went. I mean, every call, every vet call, everything. And so when it was in a rural area near where we lived, but it was way out in the woods. And it was about a dog that was harassing people, but it needed to be caught and rescued. And so we go out there with, I don't know, the filming truck and everything else. And we get out and we're there, and this man is so nice and so happy to see us and, you know, really entertaining. And so we ended up setting a trap near where he'd put food down for the dog and stuff. But as we were walking around the yard, there was a sign in front that said, God only intended man and woman to be married.
On his lawn?
On his lawn. And I think half of us were gay. And so we kept elbowing each other sort of subtly and thought, oops, just be careful.
Yeah.
I told them all, butch it up now, boys.
Right? Butch it up. Come on. Use your deep voice. You know, that email that you mentioned about the person saying that we're subhuman. Are you sometimes surprised by, like, I mean, coño, you guys are of a certain age, right? Okay, and you would think that we've been
old.
No, you're not, because you're not old. You know, like you're just not old. 60 is the new 50, 50 is the new 40. That is how I am working it. All right. You know, do you feel like, are you surprised sometimes that like, you know, dogs bring us together? Doesn't matter if they're gay, straight, whatever it is. But outside of those walls, they're hateful people that would think differently about you because you're gay.
Oh yeah, of course, I think we both grew up. Well, he didn't really know it as much about himself as I didn't know it either. I just knew I was weird.
Weird queers, yes.
Well, I had no idea it was about being gay. I mean, it's just I wasn't exposed to it, and the only words I'd heard referring to it were not very nice.
Yeah.
And you know, so the fact that I actually thought about things that I didn't think I was probably supposed to be thinking about helped me go back into a shell even more. But
For sure.
So, but you know, as time went on, I never felt disrespected or disliked.
Or in danger or threatened or anything like that.
I never felt that way. But what upsets me now, I mean, today, is when I still hear young kids that were in that time that I was being spoken about so harshly and terribly. He's a little fag or this and that.
Of course, a little sissy or whatever
and
it is.
I think, how at this day and time, how can they have a mind so closed?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, especially here in South Florida, we were talking about the drag bans and our governor, who I won't mention, and all the horrible things that he does, you know. Dogs bring love. And dogs are unconditional, you know, and dogs remind us that it doesn't matter what we've been through, right? We can always accept and give love, and we're always, and we deserve love, and there's always a place for us somewhere. We just have to find it, even if it's in our chosen family. You've made up your own chosen family of pups.
Well,
you know?
we have, but we've also made a lot of friends through all of this.
Oh, for sure.
And we're appreciative of all of them. I mean, they're good to us, and we're good to them, and we all have this mutual bond. A lot of them are horse people too, so we have two mutual bonds really. But
oh, for sure.
But I think it's animals in general is our biggest bond, our connection.
Well, and horses are also. Let's talk about the horses. The horses is kind of what united you folks. And Ron told me that you are showing horses in December. Okay, I don't know anything about horses. Okay, I don't know anything. I know that they're expensive to ride, but I think that the outfits are super cute and the boots are nice. What exactly does that mean that you're showing them in December?
Well, for us, neither of us ride anymore.
Okay.
I rode professionally for years, and he rode a lot growing up, but I stopped riding about 15 years ago, but all that time I still trained people from the ground and helped bring their horses along. And their match, and he was doing pretty much the same thing. And then he helped me at some of the upper level shows and stuff, well, almost all of them really, but helped me, you know, with the horses, with the riding, what looks better. get it a little tight, closer to the jump, or
Mm-hmm.
let him stand off a little bit more, a little less rein, or more gallop through the turn, or just advice. So we had very much of a workmanship relationship before we became closer.
Closer. I love how you bring the dogs even when you're doing horse stuff, because there'll be times that you'll make an event out of it. Like, okay, yeah, we're showing horses, but we've also got some dogs here in case anybody needs to adopt any. Just saying, just checking, fill out the application.
Our golf cart is full of dogs. And all winter long here at the Winter Equestrian Festival in Wellington, Faye, we have a booth on Vendor Row that we adopt dogs
I love
out
that.
of.
I love that. How was COVID for your rescue? How was that?
Tragic. Because we had COVID going through. We have 33 staff members now. And that's probably the hardest thing, when you asked about how is it living in the house. We have staff in our house 24/7. And so I'm sure you could picture having 33 people with your wife in the house.
I can't. Even the handyman can't come in during that time because, again, it's just too much going on.
Yeah,
so I can't imagine
but-
having 30 people also while you're trying to do stuff.
But the sad thing after COVID, you heard during COVID, people went and adopted and cleared the shelters out. Then they got jobs. And I just was at Palm Beach County the other day pulling a dog, and they said to me, the director said, Ron, we've gone backwards 5 years.
Oh,
We're
that's
just
awful.
packed and full, and we have no kennels open. And it's the same thing with all rescues. So COVID was quite tragic for the dogs. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to recover from it, but spay and neuter is the answer.
Spay and neuter is the answer. I don't understand people. And I am that person. I'll be walking around and I'll meet you and you're with your dog and he has his balls and I'll be the one to tell you, why do you have him? Why is he not fixed? Oh, because I'm going to breed him. Bitch, you ain't breeding nobody. Do you know what it entails to breed your dog? Do you know that you have to pay for this, this, and this? You're never going to breed your dog. Cut his balls off. His balls are not attached to your balls.
Danny, let's move a little further from Faye right now.
I would not do anything to your balls. I like what your balls are doing, okay? But this is the world we live in. This macho bullshit sometimes of dog owners is just crazy. Okay, let's talk about, I know I'm all over the place, I know, but I only have you for a few more minutes, so bear with me, okay? So
right.
Someone like you that's doing the same thing somewhere tragic right now, okay? So Adam Bennett and his friend Joab Ben David have rescued over 600 animals, including some 430 dogs, 200 cats, birds, fish, and guinea pigs in southern Israel since the Hamas October 7th terror massacre.
Wow.
It's insane. Where they're pulling cats from and you could
Right.
see the dogs shaking incredibly from God knows what they've seen, or a bomb falling, or whatever it is, seeing their family completely annihilated, whatever it is. If you could send a message to those two men over there doing this, what would it be?
I guess the few words I could say instantly is God bless you both. I think, reaching out is very important. We just finished not long ago our 5th animal shelter in the Ukraine that we helped rebuild,
Wow.
because of all the bombing and stuff. And they had no place to put all those cats and dogs, and so many of them were burned. And so that is,
For sure.
to me is huge what they're doing.
For sure. Okay, another scenario. So, again, I love my friends, and I love when, I let them come over and they play with the dogs. But I know that there's certain people that I wouldn't trust with my dog, okay? That I would not leave my dog with them, right? I love
Right.
them as friends, but there's people who think of dogs as their property. I get it, whatever. It's not for me, okay? My pets are my family. The second that you are my pet, I'm with you until you or I die, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's just it,
Yeah.
right? So let's talk to you boys about the right dog for the right situation. All right, because people will come to me and be like, hey, I want a dog. Okay, and I will say, adopt, don't shop. And it's not just let's get a pretty dog. Let's get a dog that fits your situation, right? So I'm going to give you a situation and you tell me more or less what kind of a dog you think they should have.
Okay.
Cool? All right. First situation. And I went and found gay boys to ask. Okay, so understand, all right? So the right dog for the right situation. This boy, I'm a single man and work a lot, but I'm willing to get sitters and dog walkers. I have a big yard and I live in Oakland Park. I already have one pup and I think that she needs a companion. Tommy, his name is Tommy. What do you say to Tommy?
What does he say? What kind of dog it is that he has already?
He said it was like a terrier of some sort.
I would suggest something similar, just size-wise, so that it's not overwhelmed. or intimidated, I think it makes the attachment process go a lot faster. And depending on what he likes to do with them, you of course want something that's actually likes looking forward to the next person coming in and feeding them or walking them or whatever. So it has to have that disposition. But I think the strongest thing that where people make the biggest mistakes is picking a breed out, or a child will pick a breed out that they love and then the parents will allow it. And you just can't put the working dogs in a pet dog situation.
Completely.
And because those dogs really, they're bred to have jobs.
Yep.
And they can't tell it, but you can't train it out of them. It's bred into them.
Yes.
And so you know, it's wrong to bring something that needs to herd sheep or cattle or live on a farm or guard property to bring them into a city.
For real.
And a house and keep them in a pen during the day and that sort of thing.
Do your research. Of course, a research can, a rescue can happen where you end up with an Akita and you weren't wanting to have an Akita,
Right.
Things happen, but you should research the breed, find out what it entails, people love Frenchies. Love Frenchies,
Oh, yeah.
okay? I hate those dogs. Love Frenchies, okay? But they don't understand. They have skin issues. We're in South Florida. They can hardly breathe. There are so many things that can happen with these little puppies, and people are not educated in knowing that,
They are a lot of vet bills and they cost a lot to start with.
Right?
We had an attorney from Atlanta, lived in Midtown Atlanta. He called me. He wanted to surrender his 2 dogs. And I said, well, tell me about him. He said, well, something's wrong with them. And I said, what do you mean something's wrong with them? He said, well, when I put them in their crate, all they do is constantly spin in a circle. And I said, well, what kind are they? And he said, border collies. And I said, how long are they in their crate? He said, probably 14 hours a day.
Oh my God.
And I said, sir, did you ever research that they are working dogs? They work cattle, they work sheep. And he said, no. And he said, I thought they were pretty. So we took them to our farm where we train the horses. They ran, Faye, for probably 3 weeks straight. Never laid down.
Wow.
After 3 weeks, they were just chill.
Wow.
But they were going stir crazy.
But they needed to work
Yeah.
that out. Okay, folks, if you don't know what a working dog is, okay, why haven't you watched like the dog show? We've all watched the freaking dog show, right? And then that's where you learn the dog, So these working dogs, they have a job to do.
Thanksgiving morning.
Thanksgiving morning, like you recorded after the Thanksgiving Day parade, you watched the kennel show, right? And you learned all about these breeds, the cattle dogs, the Alaskan cattle dogs. I take care of one, and I could just see it that it needs to run, it needs to do something, and you can't have it in a small crate. But again, I've got some, my friends are like, oh, I need to take my dog to the rescue. I can't with it anymore. Every time I come home, my house is destroyed, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. And it's like, okay, do you have somebody that runs it in the middle of the day? Do you have somebody visit it? No. Okay, get a dog walker to come in between in the middle of the day and let them out, let them run, let them, have a little burn off session. So when you come home later on, the dog is not freaking out by holding his pee all day and also got some exercise in the middle of the day. It's something so little that you can do for your pet, for their mental health and for your mental health, right? You're sick and tired of coming home every day to poop and a mess? Get somebody to come and run the dog in the middle of the day. Trust me, you'll thank me for it. Okay.
Well, the thing you have to remember too is when you're working all day and you come home, right then is when you're pretty tired and you just want to settle for a minute. And that's when your dog is the happiest because you're back.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the dog gets scolded because I'm not ready yet.
And how is the dog supposed to know the dog is ready?
You have to gauge your life a little bit around it, just to be fair to both of you.
It's true. Okay, next situation. We live in a condo. We've been together for 10 years and just lost our Shih Tzu and Pitty last year. What kind of pup will be the best for us?
Oh, I think they ought to think about something that is lower energy if they're living in an apartment, unless they have a dog park or plan on jogging and walking a lot. So to me, at shelters or whatever, look for something that's a mixed breed that is more on the quiet, laid back side as opposed to like you said, a working dog, a high energy dog.
Maybe over 4 years old.
Yeah, because, everybody thinks all puppies are cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's very important. Like we save from shelters a lot of senior dogs because people take them to the shelter because they're 12, 14, and they want a puppy. And so we have a very soft spot for the senior dogs.
Yeah.
But, get a middle-aged dog that is not going to chew the electric cords and chew your furniture, and you're going to have a great pet.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the dog people have dogs that they've had since they were puppies, but they forget the situation they were in when they got the puppy. That was something they needed then, and they had the time to clean up behind it.
Yeah.
And teach it right from wrong, and make it love, just love you and fall in love with you and do everything right. But that people
Takes
forget
time.
that takes 2 or 3 years
It
sometimes.
does.
And
It does. And like
Labradors
your schedule changes and things change. So you've got to adjust and like kind of redo. Like you've got to do it like over and over and over and
yeah,
over.
but people don't remember that they went through all of that.
And they don't want to go through it again though.
No.
It's not a
no,
one-time thing,
They want it automatic.
No, you change apartments, you change boyfriends, you change partners, and your dog has to get used to that. All right, last situation. I'm a young gay man in Wilton, and I know that little pups are bear magnets. Do you know what a bear is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I bet you do. Which pup is best to get the most attention from other men on the drive? Signed, Tight Butt Bruce. Listen, I don't make this shit up. I mean, this is just what it is. I can't help. What do we tell Tight Butt Bruce?
A Chihuahua.
Chihuahuas are like the meanest, right? Like
No,
they'll bite.
They're tough little dogs, but no, I mean, I would think they want something that's not going to be a white poodle or some, feminine type of looking dog if he's dating bears, So I think he's going to want a little more substantial, like, bulldogish look and stuff that looks like a little macho dog.
Oh my God, I could see that. And I could see that. I could see him put like a little harness on him and everything.
Yeah,
It'd be super cute.
little leather vest. And
You want something to humble you.
Right?
Get exactly what you think you wouldn't have.
Oh my God,
It's,
I love that. Boys, what do you watch? What do you watch on TV in your underwear eating bad food?
eating bad food.
By bad food, I mean I never eat McDonald's, but every once in a while, God, there's nothing like McDonald's fries. I gotta have it, and the dogs love McDonald's fries, so I always get extra for them. So, what do you watch?
Oh, I mean, I love watching Animal Planet.
More dogs, more animals.
More animals. Yep, love watching that. And then I am a very addict with watching a lot of the old shows, the old sitcoms. I really enjoy
The
those.
old ones, really.
I love watching the old Carol Burnett shows and
With the
True
ear.
humor.
yeah,
Yep.
it had such normal humor then.
I hate shows that everybody screams in them, even though they're funny in their comedies. But I can't stand everybody screaming at each other.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
that-
really
that's
like
so-
HGTV, and I love like Maine Cabin Masters and.
Well, you're like really into gardening and flowers and stuff like that. Do
Yeah,
you like
I-
watch anything like that
yeah.
on TV? I mean, what the hell do you watch plants grow? That must be the most boring show ever, like in life.
No, I don't. I don't watch plants grow. I can read about that, but no, I like the stuff where people are rebuilding old things. I love history. I love the types of homes we don't see anymore, and the feeling they give you when you drive up in a property with a pretty old driveway and old falling down fence. And
Yes, like the redos, like the flips and stuff like that, where you'll see the before and after.
yeah,
and,
and
go,
the
wow.
homestead rescue. When these people dare to move out, and again, it's another situation where they don't know enough about what they're doing when they step into it.
Yeah.
And then these people come and have to try to save them all from their own disasters.
It's true.
And that I look at that a lot like I do the dogs. It's don't set yourself up for something that you have to be rescued from yourself. So
It's true, and you just never know, and you can't judge a book by its cover. Like you can't judge the house by how it looks like in the back. You just never know. I think that everyone. Well, I guess this is like not everyone. I think that if you can rescue, you should. Okay, and that's what I say. Instead of telling people everybody should rescue animals, I don't think that everybody is in the right place or knows enough to rescue animals. I don't
Right,
think everybody
yeah.
should just go out there and start rescuing people. Like I know people that are, jump over fences like, oh, the dog was chained up. I mean, you've got to be careful what you do. You can end up arrested too, But I think that if you have a love for animals and you take a page out of their playbook. Maybe you rescue one pup at a time, right? I mean, we're so inundated with so many pets that need homes.
Well, and even just go to a local shelter and volunteer to walk them, or clean up, or bathe, or
And fostering's a great thing
fostering
too.
is wonderful, and then you don't have to own it, and then you can fail and you can own it.
Right? And listen, there are so many foster fails, but who cares?
Yeah.
Fostering is key. Listen to what the boys are saying and think about it. You don't even have to pay for the food yourself. Okay, you're helping a rescue out because they don't want to have their dogs in boarding. They don't want to have their dogs in places, that are overrun by other dogs. So a foster will be a great way. But it's true. You'll fall in love with a dog and you might keep it, but who cares? It's a beautiful, beautiful way to meet a dog.
And another thing is, so many people, when they think I want a purebred, think they have to go and buy it. Rescues, we are inundated with purebreds every day.
That's true. That's true.
And they could be almost any breed. We've had just about all the breeds. And
there's a lot of breeds, though.
We
There's
can't,
a lot.
yeah, we can't.
I need a pedicure, and Howdy knows it.
Faye will not have any toes
I'm
left.
okay. I'm okay.
But it's not like a mail order thing. Oh yeah, we have it and we'll ship it in 6 days. But very often, it's from nice German Shepherds to Labs to Fox Terriers to Jack Russells.
You've had it all.
We've had it all.
Have you ever had somebody come in and say to you, "I don't want a black dog. I don't want a Chihuahua. I don't want a male dog. If the dog it looked at me sideways, it doesn't like me."
Well, the best part is when they ask if it's housebroken, and I'll let Ron finish that one.
My normal answer to that is yes, they are housebroken. They will go in the house.
We love you so much, Danny and Ron. Thank you so much for being on my show. Please follow them on social media, okay? Help these boys out. If you see them out, tell them thank you for all they do, all right? If you wanna adopt any of their pups, okay, go on and fill out an application and find out how you can make that happen, all right? Did I see monks just adopting some dogs from you? I saw a monk.
No, it wasn't. It was on
wasn't
Facebook,
us.
and I shared it, I think.
What was it?
It was a stray schnauzer, and the whole monk community took it in, and
The monastery.
Oh my God! And they had him dressed up like a
Dressed
monk,
up
right?
like a
Oh my
monk.
God! It was amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Danny, Robert Shaw, and Ron Danta, thank you for being you. Thank you for being on the FayWhat Show. Do me a favor. Look into that camera and say, FayWhat, just like that.
FayWhat?
There it is. Yay! So I've got their book and I've got their calendar. Please make sure to pick them up wherever you like to buy your books and calendars. All right, 2024 is right around the corner, and we've got these incredible pictures.
Great
all right?
Christmas gift.
Great Christmas gift, and your book as well, Forever Home. I read somewhere that you were thinking of doing like a children's book, or is there a children's
We
book?
have 4 children's books, Life in the Doghouse series on Simon & Schuster and Amazon.
Okay, and so are you afraid that they're going to pull them from freaking libraries in Florida because you're 2 gay men?
It's a possibility.
That might bring more money.
It might.
Okay, or the children's books. Make sure that you get them wherever books are sold. And please follow the organization. Please give our viewers, your website again.
DannyRonsRescue.org.
DannyRonsRescue.org. We love them. Thank you so much for being on the
Thank
FayWhat
you.
Show, boys.
One more thing about the
Please.
children's books is each one is about a story about a dog that's in our movie, but the stories are very fictitious. But what we've found in our world is the need for acceptance and the need for young people to learn to understand and become more open-minded. And each book is geared towards acceptance.
I love that. I love that. Look out for those books, okay? And read them to your children. It's a great way to teach a child about responsibility, about accountability, about a living thing. There's nothing more beautiful than having a child grow up with their best friend.
Absolutely.
Right?
You've got it.
Danny and Ron, thank you so much for being on my show today. And make sure you follow them on social media. Make sure that you support them in any way you can. And kiss your babies for us. You know that we love them. Come here. My little Howdy.
Speckles just heard you. See, he came and gave me a kiss.
Speckles. Look, and Speckles just made out with me.
Isabel, come here.
Look, come here, Isabel. You
Isabel,
too.
come on.
You too. Say hello. Say hello, you beautiful girl.
Yes.
Well, Faye, we can't thank you enough for having us on.
Thank
We're
you
very
so much.
honored.
No, honestly, it's my honor and privilege to be laying in bed with you boys. Right? All right. Make sure you follow them, and we'll be right back. Get our week started by telling you some things that are really important to me. We call it Faye, what's on my mind? Transgender Day of Remembrance is on my mind. T-Door is on my mind. You know, I know that it was a few weeks ago, but we were on vacation, so I had to acknowledge this powerful and very important observance, honestly. So as 2023 comes to a close, leaving behind a significant wave of transphobia, homophobia, and so on, we have to look ahead to what will hopefully be a better year for our people and ask how we cis people can be better allies to trans and non-binary people in 2024. You know, so I want to tell you how to be a better ally in 2024. Start off by checking in with trans people, okay? My girls over at Trans Inclusive, they say that trans people are often struggling due to issues like transphobia, misgendering, or negative attention. So if you have a trans or non-binary person in your life, check in on them. Make sure that their mental health is okay and that they're not feeling isolated. Get it correct. You know, get it correct that you're not there to save them, okay? Understand that. But it's never wrong to see how someone is doing, right? Next, another way is to challenge everyday transphobia. Allies should use their voices to change and challenge everyday transphobia, like misgendering or using dead names, and engage people in conversations that might change their opinions or their views or might open up their eyes to trans people's viewpoints. Try not to be aggressive and assess the situation because it may not be safe either. If you witness a violent hate crime or an emergency, you always call 911. But use your voice, okay? You have no idea how important that might be. Next, respect pronouns. If you want to be a good ally, respecting people's pronouns is a necessity. I mean, it is just the most basic thing that you can do for someone. This doesn't mean getting it perfect off the bat or getting it right all the time, but making the effort to learn and respect people's pronouns is key. And it's just that, it's respect. Your mama raised you better, right? So if you mess up, just say sorry and choose to move on. You could also get into the habit of sharing your own pronouns so people feel safe sharing theirs with you, right? Hi, I'm FayWhat. She, her, hers are my pronouns. What are yours? I have never met somebody till this day that has said, don't you know? You know, just ask. Another way that you can be a great ally is to support and donate. If you have the means to do so, volunteering or supporting trans charities or a person's individual transition fundraiser can be a great way to help the community assess the resources that they need and, you know, use it to their benefit. According to the Human Rights Campaign, almost 3 in 10 trans adults live in poverty. 3 in 10. So sharing resources, if you can, is a great way to help the community. You know, next, be actively and visibly supportive. Allies could support trans people on social media. They could share articles. They could talk about trans people and generally make people know that you're a trans ally through and through. If you answer questions about trans people as an ally, it can take the heat and emotional labor off trans people to do the same thing. You know, you might be fighting or being in a place where a trans person might not be welcomed, okay? By the way, if you're a young trans person looking for support or an ally looking to support a trans person close to you, there are so many organizations like Trans Social, Trans Inclusive, and SunServe, the McKenzie Project, that are always there with information and resources. Always. Look them up, send them a message, trust me, they will get back to you. And always remember that no one is safe until trans folks are safe. That's it, all right? Be a good ally. So that's it. That's the FayWhat show. I hope that you had fun. I had a freaking blast today. Like, what a great show. I got to say thank you to Lumination Onyx for joining me in bed. He just made it so easy. I think this still smells like him. Que rico. Anyway, so I'm really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. That's why I had the boys on, you know? I mean, from the rescue, they're just so incredible people. 2 gay men living in a freaking house with 150 rescues. Come on, that is definitely being in the doghouse, right? So I gotta tell you, it's often hard for us girls to get that point across. But if we believe that we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q+. We open every show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore, and that girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ+ community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity. At the end of the day, it's what makes us so damn strong. Until next Monday, world, at 9 a.m. sharp, or anytime on demand also. Until then, make sure that you follow me on all social media outlets. That's Facebook, IG, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, all of that, okay? But on all your smart televisions, like you're watching me now, you got to download the Happening Out Television Network to watch all the shows that are on our network, okay? Also, follow FayWhat. And since you are always on the go, you can also listen to this show, the FayWhat Show, wherever you listen to your podcast. So you can listen to me right in the comfort of your own car while you're stuck in Miami traffic. Just search the FayWhat Show. Also, follow the Happening Out Television Network for all LGBTQ plus content. So that's it. Esto se acabó. I'm FayWhat, and I'm hashtag that girl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be